Alright guys, let's get into a big topic today, and that is costumes and melting them for CRON stones. And I wanted to give you guys as much helpful information as I can, all the little tips and tricks and things that I've used to try to get as many of these from the market as I can with silver for essentially what is half price compared to spending the 2 million silver from the vendor CRON stones. If you get them off the market, basically you're paying 1 million silver per CRON stone when you extract them. Now, before I get into that though, I want to say very importantly here at the start, a big part of this really is quite simply going to be region dependent. Whether you play on NA or another region, I think it's pretty common to a lot of people who play the game now that the NA region just has a lot more whales and a lot more costumes that are being sold, so it is significantly easier in order to get those costumes off the market. But no matter what region you play on, whether it is NA or another region, you'll still be able to use these tips to hopefully allow yourself to get more costumes than you were getting before. Obviously, whenever you have a chance, if you are looking for CRON stones, if you're looking to spend silver for CRON stones, you always want to try to get the costumes off the market and extract those before you go to the vendor, because you're basically paying twice the price at the vendor, 2 million per CRON stone instead of the 1 million silver that you spend buying outfits off the market. So let's get into some really important stuff here. And first of all, I wanted to start off with a really awesome website here that is super useful to everyone, no matter what region that you're on. This is definitely one of the ones that you're gonna want to add to your bookmarks and keep a very close eye on, especially if you are looking to get a whole bunch of costumes for CRON stones. And it's actually funny enough, the name of the website is called BDO Whale Tracker. I'll leave a link in the description of the video, but just you can also Google BDO Whale Tracker, and this is an insane website that actually does something really crazy, and it'll allow you to actually track which costumes are sold on the market based on the last hour, the last day, the last week, to get yourself a better sense of like what costumes the whales are essentially picking to sell for silver. And you can kind of keep a closer eye on the ones that obviously are selling in the higher numbers. So if we take a look here, you've got the different regions. We've got the console, of course, EUNA, and then we've got the PC version down here, EUNA. If we take a look at NA, and we actually see here, we can see that in the last hour, it seems like the CRON Premium and the Blazing Inferno Premium are kind of like the two costume sets that the whales are selling. You can see 13 of those sold, 13 of those. But there's a couple of other ones where there are a lot being sold as well, like Lord Red. Now, I want to say this website, very important to bring it up, that this cannot be the only thing that you use in order to basically min-max your costumes and your costume gains. And a big thing I'll say is that there are certain costume sets that you're going to notice sell a lot. Like the really popular ones, like Lord Red, very popular costume, and at times it is the best costume set in order to look out for. However, this is also the one that like most people really like look out for and put pre-orders in for. So yes, there's a whole lot of them being sold, but at the same time, the competition for them is also really high. So you definitely want to not just look at a website like this. You want to do some other things as well, which I'll get into in the video, that are also going to help you to get as many of these costumes as you can. But this is a great start here. You can see it gives you the 1 hour breakdown. Then it gives you the 24-hour breakdown. So you can see here that the CRON set seems like it's the hottest one for the last hour on NA, but it's not for the last 24 hours. It seems like it's mostly the Blazing Inferno, Lord Red, and the Dompteur Premium sets that actually, if you go down here, it seems like this is not a costume. This is another pearl item, but a lot of people selling those Brown Hawks. And then, of course, you could see the 7-day breakdown here as well. It seems like Blazing Inferno is going to end up taking the cake there for the most sold up here in the costumes. Now, you can also sort here. It is Blazing Inferno, Sanguine Petal, Lord Red, a lot of the common ones like Lord Red and Labreve, etc. Now, so that's NA right there. Now, if you do take a look, though, at EU, you could see here that the numbers do drop off a pretty significant amount. Now, with that being said, though, it is not impossible. If you know what you are doing, and if you get a bit of a competitive advantage over everybody else, like you will, of course, after watching a video like this, you'll be able to use this information to give yourself a better advantage and get more costumes than you were getting before, but it's still not going to be anywhere on the same level that we have it on the NA servers, where we've basically just got costumes flying left and right. Like, when I stream, if I need 10 billion silver in costumes for my next stream in like less than 24 hours, almost always I can end up getting that in basically one day, all off the market, if I'm just, you know, really paying attention and using these kinds of tips and things to get as many costumes as I can. That's going to be way more difficult on EU because there's just quite simply not as many costumes sold. If we go back to like the 7-day breakdown, you can see here that the top amount sold is like 1,500 for the Blazing Inferno and whatnot. You know, 1423. And if we go back to EU here, we'll see that the top 7-day breakdown, you know, we are looking at the first two here are not the costumes. So we're looking at like 600, 420, 300. Like that's a pretty significant drop off there. So it is going to be a lot more difficult, but not impossible. You just need to really, really be on the lookout. So you've got the console versions there as well. And like I said, this is an awesome website, but it is not the only thing that you want to use. There's a couple of other very important things. And the other thing I will say is definitely learn the Pearl Shop sales. I know that's going to sound a little bit crazy, but this is super, super important. And especially at weeks where the premium outfits are not the ones that are on sale, there are a lot of crazy outfits that are like the classic sets. Like a couple of weeks ago, it was actually the classic sets that were on sale and not the premiums, and the premiums were not really being sold that much. And that's why I have a whole bunch of these leftover classic boxes, is because you really have to learn like what is on sale in the Pearl Shop. So if we go to the Pearl Shop and we go here, you can see that this week it is really mostly all about those premium boxes. That's kind of what is you know, discounted. But you know, week by week this is going to change. So I would definitely say whenever they update like the Pearl Shop stuff, you just want to see what costumes are on sale to be on the lookout for those on the market, because especially on NA, like people don't really buy the costume boxes that are not on sale. Very, very few. So you want to be on the lookout for the ones that are, especially if it's like a 45, 50, or 55% sale. Those are definitely going to be the ones that you prioritize. So when you see costumes on sale here, just go and take a look here, open up one of these and scroll over the actual costume. And then you can actually see what costumes you're going to end up getting. So if we look here, that's just the typical premium outfit box, and it actually gives you the name of all of the different premium outfits. And you could see, of course, looking at the Whale Tracker website, it makes sense because all the top costumes that are sold this week are basically all in the premium boxes. It is not always the case, though. If it's classic outfits that are somehow on sale, like they were a couple of weeks ago, those are going to be the ones that you're going to be on the lookout for, and they have completely different names. So you're going to want to change your pre-orders and whatnot. So now that we have that taken care of, let's get to the actual market here so I can talk about pre-orders and sniping. Now, sniping is going to be very difficult, if not impossible, on EU, but it is very important on NA. But pre-orders are going to be very important for all servers that you're in. So basically, pre-orders, you're going to want to use the information that I presented so far, the Whale Tracker website. You're going to want to use the information on like what costumes are on sale. And you're going to also want to take a look here. Another thing is if you actually go and look at the costumes, let's just type in like a really common one like Lord Red. We'll go and we'll see here that it's a more competitive costume set, right? Like we've got 26 orders. Obviously, this is one that's going to be sold a lot, but you can see that there's a lot more competition. So because there's more pre-orders, whenever one is sold, your chances of getting one are going to be a lot less. So you don't always want to just go for whatever is sold the most. You kind of have to use your brain a little bit and think to yourself, well, what's the best ratio? What's the costumes that are sold a lot of, but also the ones that there's not really as many pre-orders in? And sometimes you have to get into some of the other costumes. Like let's just take a look at this one here, like Dom Tour. This one is not sold as much, but you can see that there's less pre-orders in for this. So like, you know, if there's 1,000 Lord Reds that are sold in the last, you know, week or whatever, and then there's, you know, 800 Dom Tours, yes, there's less of these ones that were sold, but there's less pre-orders right now. So when one of them is sold, your chances of getting it are going to be higher. So you do have to do a little bit of thinking. Another thing as well that you want to be on the lookout for is this recent transaction that'll actually tell you when the last costume was sold. So that just gives you a little bit of a sense there as to like how often they are being sold. Sometimes this can be useful, especially if there's not really that many pre-orders on the market. You could see if there's like somebody like whaling right now and just selling a whole bunch of them. You could see, you know, like right now the last one was sold like 30-40 minutes ago, but sometimes you can kind of catch a whale in action, especially here on NA, going and dumping a bunch of costumes and kind of, you know, use that strategic advantage to get a whole bunch of them at once. So definitely use that information to get a smart pre-order. No matter what server you're in, EU or NA, you want to not just go for whatever is sold the most, you want to go for the best ratio of what is being sold a lot of, but also what has a lower number of pre-orders to give yourself the best chance of actually getting that when it is sold. So now let's talk about the last thing really here, mostly for NA. I don't know if this ever is an option on EU, but on NA this happens quite a bit, and that is sniping costumes. Quite literally, like getting them right away without having a pre-order. Now, I would always try to have a pre-order if you're looking for costumes active. Just have it there. You can only have one Pearl Shop pre-order open at a time. But the thing is, occasionally here, like you'll see it all the time on NA, is you'll see that notification go off. Like you see it for horses, you see it for workers. Like there it is right there. This notification, perfect timing for the video, by the way. In fact, we might be able to get this right now. So if we go and we go to Pearl Shop, let's see if it's still there. Oh, it's gone. We missed it though. That's how fast some people are at this. Like when I say sniping, you have to be on the alert. You cannot be distracted, but you'll see those notifications there. And basically that means that something was posted to the market. However, the important thing is you'll only see those notifications if something was actually posted to the market, like a costume, individual or a costume set, and there were no pre-orders for it. So it actually does sit on the market for like a couple of seconds. But because that notification does go out, and because costumes are so competitive, so many people are looking to get these in order to melt them for CRON stones, you only have a very short window in order to, buy it out before somebody else does, especially considering everyone gets an alert for it just like that. So if you are on NA and if you do have this opportunity, if it ever does come around, at some point things change on EU, what you want to do is you want to have those notifications on, but more importantly, you don't want to rely on those notifications because there is a bit of a delay, and the more competition there is, the less you can rely on those notifications, because even that 1 to 2 second delay on those notifications, sometimes that is how fast people will be sniping out these costumes. So if you really want to go for it, what you want to do, especially during the weekly reset, which is actually, funny enough, it's today in a couple hours, the Monday reset, when all the Pearl Shop items, the weekly count resets. It's the best time of the week for the whales. They love it because they bought out all their maximum weekly limits last week, and now because they're resetting right when it happens, they go and they buy out all their maximum weekly limits again right when that happens, and that's today at the regular server time restart. So especially now, like what I'll do on a day like today on NA is I'll sit here and I'll quite literally just like do this, and just refresh these, because it's so competitive and there's so many people doing this that you can't rely on those notifications. And occasionally when you do this, you will actually see that something pops up there at the top in stock, and you'll be able to like go and really quickly just snipe one of the costumes, and you can essentially repeat this. And on NA, the whales, man, it's crazy. Like you'll see a lot of costumes and you'll see a lot of action, especially on the weekly reset days. But if you're looking for like a lot of costumes, that's what you want to do right there. You want to actually like keep the market open and refresh it. But during slower times or when there's not as much competition, you could rely on those notifications. I know like in the middle of the night, you're not going to have as much of a problem with the, like things being taken in 1 or 2 seconds. But, the competition is high. I will say that, guys. Like to kind of wrap everything up that I mentioned in this video, like I'll say, no matter what server you're on, there's a reason why these basically get sold out instantly. There's a reason why there's so many people on the lookout for them. And if you guys have stopped by and you've watched the stream even for a single day, you guys know the insane amount of costumes that I actually end up going through every single day, and that's CRON stones. These allow you to, if you get these off the market, basically whatever price you pay on the market, that much divided by 1 million silver. So like these ones, 269 million silver. Basically, this is like 270 CRON stones. So you're paying 1 million silver each instead of 2 million from the vendor. And, CRON stones are incredibly valuable for enhancing, and there's always going to be people on the lookout for those essentially discounted CRON stones from whales. So hopefully you guys can use this, whether you play on US, NA, or US, NA, EU, whatever region you play on, to take advantage of some of these tips to get yourself some more costumes. But I threw enough info in this video, so I'm going to leave it here, and hopefully this helped out and you guys enjoy. So with that being said, thanks for watching, everyone. Subscribe for more videos coming soon. Keep an eye out on the Twitch stream as well, twitch.tv/salt. All the links and important stuff in the description. And until next time.